so now I want to take a look at another tool that I find to be super useful. But before we do that, over here under your channel box, you'll see all this input. Now, it's not bad because I can kind of adjust things, but I am pretty big on wanting to always make sure that I delete my history out after so long, because as it builds up, it can start to kind of interfere with things. And maybe that's just older Maya versions, but you know, you get rid of it and you're clear and everything is just, this is it. This is what I have, right? So I made this piece with extrusions last. I want to talk about the insert edge loop tool, which is this nice little one right here. So when you're inserting edge loops, an edge loop is literally, if you select edge and double click on this, there's a loop. It loops around the entire thing. It's an edge. It's an edge loop. There you go. And if we want to add extra edge loops, then we can select the insert edge loop tool, click on an edge, move it to wherever we want, release the button, there you go, new edge loop. And you're creating new geometry, and this is super efficient. So something that I didn't mention about the extrude tool is that it also can help provide edge loops like this. So if I was to select these two planes here, for example, and I hit extrude, and I didn't move the object, but instead I just scaled it down like this, I have created my own little selection of looping here. And if I put my select edge loop, I can select through here, see? So this is sort of the foundation of starting to create edge flow, is edge looping things the proper way. See, I just took what was one polygon and now bam, it's two. And this is a good way to test to make sure your edge loops are flowing right. If it goes through here, it's going to go this way. If it goes here, it's going to go this way. See, and I'm just pouring on geometry that I can do things with, you know. Whether it's making little table legs off of something, or it's creating eye sockets, or what have you, right? Because once we have this sort of setup, we can start doing all sorts of things. You know, so like if I wanted to start making an eyeball, you know. So this is why edge loops are important, is having the ability to kind of control your geometry and make all sorts of shapes in your material. And look at this, I can select edge loop, bam, there's an edge loop, and I can kind of take it and pull it and push it. Here's an edge loop, right? Take it, pull it, push it, edge loop, right? So I can start to make all sorts of three-dimensional shape off of this. So that's why the insert edge loop tool is so important. By the way, I apologize that when I hover over it, it says split selected edge ring. That is a weird Maya issue, but when I click it, you obviously see insert edge loop tool. That is what it is. I don't know why Maya is doing that. So, you know, I can put these edge loops anywhere I want, you know. Now, times when they won't happen is, let's say I have like a weird piece of geometry. Let me go ahead and I'm just going to go here and collapse this, right? Now I've made a triangle, right? My edge loop will not continue through that. It will go around it, but once it hits that point, it stops. It goes through all these because they're four facings. That's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 through 3 kind of thing. See, it goes in the first side and comes out the third side, so the opposite, right? But it won't go through here because now there's no longer four sides. And that messes up a lot of things with edge flow. Like if you have an edge flow up here that does that, you're messing up kind of your whole process, right? It's just dirty geometry that doesn't really work with your modeling process. But yeah, so some other things about the insert edge loop tool is if you set it to multiple edge loops, you can create equal distance pieces. So for example, if I set this to 1, I will make a single edge loop right in the middle of the geometry that I select. See, if I click over here, bam, middle, right? and you have the choice to kind of set it up to do more than that, 2, 3, whatever, right? Oops. The smoothing angles, I don't really use those ever. Sometimes though, let me point this out. When you use the edge loop tool, you'll get a selected edge that remains selected no matter what. See, look at that. To get rid of that, because it is kind of selected and that is annoying, go ahead and select edges and just drag over that loop and then deselect by holding down Control and dragging, and now it's gone. So you have to kind of select it and make it go, oh, what? It's like sleeping, you know, sleeping on the job, and then deselect it, and it's like, oh, you want me not here. Yeah, that's right, I don't want you selected. So keep that in mind, and that is the edge loop tool. You know, with that and extrude, you're already starting to have tools that will allow you to make all sorts of geometric shapes and do all sorts of things, right? All right.